Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rant. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, you guys know the deal on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. And in this video, I want to talk about a post that I saw from ESPN yesterday, and I posted this to my channel. And they were talking and they were celebrating. Once again, you're celebrating LeBron James for mediocrity. And it said that LeBron James has still never gone down 0-2 in a playoff series when he has home court advantage. And they posted that as if it's impressive. Oh, LeBron James never gone down 0-2 with home court advantage. And I started laughing at that post. And I immediately, once again, thought about Michael Jordan and the fact that he's 24-0 with home court advantage. Never lost a playoff series, guys, with home court advantage. But ESPN is celebrating LeBron James not going down 0-2 in a series where he has home court. And they make it like that's a great accomplishment. Oh, LeBron James has still never gone down 0-2 with home court advantage. Why would he be going down, or why should he be going down 0-2 at home court? Celebrating mediocrity. Let's lower the standard for LeBron James, man. And we're going to break down some of these instances, LeBron James' playoff career, and some of these things versus Michael Jordan's undefeated home court advantage record, guys. And really expose what I'm talking about when they always celebrate LeBron James for mediocrity, but they won't mention Michael Jordan or any of these other people when they talk about LeBron James in these comparisons. It's hilarious to me. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states, man, has been supporting my channel. Once again, guys, I am truly, truly humbled by all the support, man. It really means a lot, guys. Shout out to everyone out there, man. Like I said, man, shout out to everybody in Canada. You guys continue to come through and support my channel. The Philippines. Shout out to everybody in the United Kingdom out there. Everybody in France, Germany, Spain, Mexico, South Africa, Trinidad and Tobago, the Bahamas, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Australia, New Zealand, Japan. Shout out to all you guys out there, man. Sierra Leone, Belgium, the Netherlands, Serbia, Croatia, Italy. Thank you very much. Shout out to everyone across the states. New York, LA, DC, Chicago, North Carolina, South Carolina, Ohio, Florida, Massachusetts, man. Shout out to everybody out there, man, that continues to support my channel, guys. It really means a lot, man, for real. Shout out to everybody in New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania. Much respect, man. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, ESPN continues to do what I always say that ESPN does, right? And a lot of these other websites, these channels, these pages, when it comes to LeBron James, guys, and some of these other guys, but mostly LeBron James, they celebrate mediocrity for him. They lower the standard to celebrate some nonsensical accomplishment. And we've talked about the 10-point streak, right? We laugh about the 10-point streak. I don't ever remember hearing anyone talk about Michael Jordan's double-digit scoring streak. Once again, though, they must qualify this for LeBron James by saying in the regular season. Because we all know LeBron James had that streak broken many times in the postseason. But they won't include that. So they'll say, oh, LeBron James has the record in the regular season. But there is no record. But this is what they celebrate for LeBron James, right? They'll celebrate his longevity without him really exhibiting any real true longevity. Like, I don't get it. They'll celebrate LeBron James' durability when there is no real true durability. They'll celebrate LeBron James and, the all-around game of LeBron James when there is no all-around game of LeBron James. It's declined. It's devolved. So they've lowered the standard for LeBron James across the board. Like we said, they celebrate mediocrity. Think about all the excuses they make for him. Oh, LeBron James only lost because he's playing against super teams. So they really want you guys to know that LeBron James can never raise his level of play and actually beat a team that might be better than his team on paper. LeBron James can't do that because he's not that great, apparently. You see what I'm saying? They expose LeBron James when they think that they're making excuses for him. Michael Jordan had to raise his level of play oftentimes in the finals for the Bulls to win. The Bulls weren't just going to be 6-0 because, well, they didn't play anybody. That's not the case. That's not the case. You watch this series, then you understand what Michael Jordan had to do in certain scenarios in these games. LeBron James did not do that in certain scenarios, which is why he lost more than he won, but they'll excuse it. This is what they do. They celebrate LeBron James going to the finals. right? That's mediocrity. You're celebrating him going there when you don't give any credence to the fact that he played in the weakest Eastern Conference. So yeah, LeBron James in the finals, man. That was a great accomplishment to go to 8 straight. It might have been a great accomplishment if he went to 8 straight in the 90s Eastern Conference, right? It might have been an accomplishment if you were going against some of these other great teams, maybe the 80s Eastern Conference, right? When you have to battle against Larry Bird or Dr. J Sixers, Dominique Wilkins Hawks, right? Sidney Moncrief's Bucks. You're going against some really good teams, right? The Isaiah Thomas Detroit Pistons, right? Michael Jordan's Bulls. If he would have been doing some damage like that in the 80s Eastern Conference, which was freaking top heavy, or if he would have been doing this, like I said, in the 90s Eastern Conference, that was just balanced from top to bottom, then we could maybe celebrate something like that, because that would not have been mediocrity. When you're celebrating by saying, oh, LeBron James went to 8 straight, once again, you're ignoring the fact that the conference that he played in to get there was weak. But not only that, LeBron James stacked the odds in his favor to do this. Now, when I saw this post and they talk about LeBron James never going down 0-2 in his career in the postseason when he has home court advantage, once again, this is mediocrity. This is laughable. Who gives a damn? What are we celebrating here? Why are we making a post about this, ESPN? I'm so confused here, guys. Because ESPN's not going to give you the facts. I'm going to give you the facts right now. So, like I said, ESPN, I don't never see ESPN post nothing about Michael Jordan being undefeated in the postseason with home court advantage. And I've done a video on this specific topic. Michael Jordan, 24-0 with home court advantage. And a lot of you guys didn't even know this. I didn't know this because it wasn't a big deal. Like, it's a big deal when you think about it, but it wasn't a thing where they're, like I said, they're celebrating this and they're promoting these things when Michael Jordan was playing. No one even knew this. I didn't know this until a couple of years back. Once again, the more you dig into Michael Jordan's career, the more impressive it becomes. The more you look into LeBron James, the less impressive it becomes. That's the facts, guys. LeBron James' career, his resume does not hold up to scrutiny. That's why I've called LeBron James a paper champion. It's on paper, his resume looks outstanding. But once you scrutinize it, it falls apart, guys. Smoke screens and mirrors. So let's think about this versus the Michael Jordan, like I said, who's more impressive. Remember, I looked into this stuff, guys. In the video that I did, no other all-time great, I'm talking about top 10, 15 player of all time, I'm talking about the great of the greats. No one in that category is undefeated with home court advantage. Even Bill Russell, guys, lost a series with home court advantage, guys. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has lost playoff series with home court advantage. Will Chamberlain has lost playoff series with home court advantage. Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Dr. J, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. All of these great players have lost at least one series in their career with home court advantage, guys. That's how impressive it is what Michael Jordan did. Once again, you're talking about the competition he went against, and they never lost with home court advantage. That's a lot of pressure. Michael Jordan never missed a playoff game. Like I said, it was there competing on both sides of the ball, right? So, to me, that's way more impressive than LeBron James not going down 0-2 at home court. Once again, why would you be down 0-2? This is what we laugh about in the 2016 finals. They're like, oh, LeBron James came back from 3-1 deficit. Why were you down 3-1 in the first place? I don't get this. You're on your super team. You're down 3-1. You know why you're down 3-1? Because you wasn't doing anything the first couple of games, right? And you needed Kyrie Irving to elevate you. So anyway, let's think about this now. LeBron James, guys, has lost 3 times in his career when he had home court advantage, guys. All right, 3 times in his career. Now remember this. LeBron James played in that weak Eastern Conference all those years, man. So let's not act like, oh, LeBron James only lost 3 times with home court advantage in a 21 or 22-year career. It's not as impressive as you might think it is when you say 3 times in let's say, I think he's been to the postseason, 18 times his career, I want to say 18 or 19 times his career. I believe he missed the postseason 3 times his career, right? And he probably would have missed the playoffs a couple more times if they didn't have this play-in and he didn't get all these, help from the referees and stuff. But anyway, it's not that impressive, like I said, guys, when you think about the weak Eastern Conference that he played in and all this stuff. But 3 times he lost with home court advantage. And you know the irony behind the 3 separate occasions that LeBron James' team lost with home court advantage, guys, were the 3 years where LeBron James was really supposed to be going through that grind. So if we think about 2009, the Cleveland Cavaliers, guys, won 66 games that season. That was the best record that the Cleveland Cavaliers have had in their history, the franchise history. 66 wins, 2009. I believe the Cavaliers I want to say they were a top 5 defense, and they may have been a top 10 offense that season, I believe. Remember, guys like Zydrunas Ilgauskas, the Drew Goodins, No, excuse me, not Drew Gooden. The Larry Hughes, the Delonte West, Anderson Varejao. Like, these were the guys that were, playing hustle defense, helping out LeBron James. These were the teammates. Mo Williams was out there helping LeBron James score the basketball. So, 2009, the Cleveland Cavaliers win 66 games, have home court advantage throughout the entire playoffs for the Eastern Conference. And what happened that year? Remember, that was the year that we've talked about many times, that the NBA, Nike, they were promoting the LeBron James versus Kobe Bryant in the finals, right? They did little dolls. And you remember what Dwight Howard said, I believe it was last year, the year before, Dwight Howard came out and said that pissed him off, that pissed him and his team off, that they were promoting Kobe versus LeBron James in the finals before they even played them. He took that as a slap in the face. So Dwight Howard went the route of Michael Jordan and took it personal. So he had a little chip on his shoulder for that series. And you all know, guys, Dwight Howard destroyed LeBron James' team that series. And I don't remember LeBron James ever jumping Dwight Howard and guarding 1 through 5 like they say he could. Like I told you, in that series, LeBron James struggled to contain Hedo Turkoglu. Couldn't stop the dude. He was able to play make up and down the court and, like I said, just really control the Orlando Magic offense. LeBron James couldn't really do anything out there on the defensive end, man. And the Cleveland Cavaliers lost 4 games to 2, having home court advantage. Right? They had home court advantage in that series. You lost 4 games to 2. Orlando Magic was the number 3 seed that year. The Cleveland Cavaliers were the number 1 seed, and they lost. So you lost with home court advantage to a team that you should have beaten, that Nike and the NBA were promoting that you were going to win. But remember, we've said that LeBron James probably folded up and lost that series on purpose because he did not want to face Kobe Bryant in the finals. Because a loss to Kobe Bryant in the finals gives the Kobe Bryant fans, and it takes away from the LeBron James fans. Imagine if LeBron James, Kobe Bryant faced off in the finals. We know what would have happened that year. We know what would have happened. Kobe Bryant would have took it to LeBron James' neck. He would have been the true ultimate competitor that LeBron James would not have been. He would not have been able to raise up to that challenge. He could not raise up to the challenge of Dwight Howard, who took it personal against him and led his team to a 4-2 victory. Dwight Howard, I believe, scored 40 points and like 14 rebounds in that Game 6 closeout game. LeBron James didn't guard Dwight Howard. Nope, didn't shut him down, nothing like that. So that was one home court loss. The following season, remember the following season, this is part of LeBron James' grind. Remember, guys, 2008, 2009, 2010, this is the grind for LeBron James, man. Remember, he loses to the Boston Celtics 2 of 3 years, right? So in 2010, he get beat by the Boston Celtics 4 games to 2, guys. Once again, LeBron James, Cleveland Cavaliers had home court advantage in that series. The Cleveland Cavaliers won 61 games that season, guys. 61 games. The Boston Celtics were the number 4 seed. The number 4 seed. So they'll promote LeBron James for not going down 0-2 ever in his career, having home court advantage. But in 2010, he lost to a number 4 seed as a number 1 seed. 4-2. 4-2, guys. And remember, in that series, the Cleveland Cavaliers were up 2 games to 1, guys. And they lost 3 games in a row. 3 games in a row. So that was a blown 2-1 lead when you were the number 1 seed playing a 4 seed. Do they want to talk about that? They're not going to mention that ESPN. They're going to celebrate him for never going down 0-2. What are we celebrating here? Nothing. Literally nothing. Let's go to the next year. Now remember, after 2010, that was when LeBron James pulling the jersey off, walking off the court. He's mad that his team blew a 2-1 lead. Why are you mad? You didn't do enough to get that. Go look at LeBron James through those last 3 games, guys, in 2010. This man was horrendous. Horrendous. Turned the ball over up and down the court, not making a damn shot. And he really got upset and mad, tearing the jersey off like it was his teammates' fault. Oh, I can't work on this team. I can't. You look ridiculous, man. That's supposed to be his grind. So you blow that lead. Home court advantage loss again. And now we know he would run away to Miami, right, in 2011. But guess what, guys? The same thing would happen the next year. He would blow home court advantage again. When the Mavericks beat the Miami Heat in the finals, guys, the Miami Heat had home court advantage. Home court advantage, guys, in the finals. And LeBron James' team lost. And we all know it was directly responsible, or the responsibility falls directly on LeBron James. Averaging 17 points a game. What was that, the 5th leader score in the series? Outscored by Jason Terry, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, Dirk Nowitzki. All these guys scored more on average per game than LeBron James. So LeBron James, I believe, averaged 26 points a game in the regular season that year, guys, and averaged 17 points in the finals. So almost 10 less points in the finals than the regular season. I don't ever remember that happening to Michael Jordan. I never remember Michael Jordan going down 10 points from the regular season in the finals. Never remember that. More often than not, Michael Jordan raised his level. I mean, if you think about 1993, the man raised his average by 10 points. He didn't lower it by 10. That was LeBron James in 2011. So remember, they lost with home court advantage 4-2. But not only that, they blew a 2-1 lead. So back-to-back years, you've blown 2-1 leads as a home court favorite, having a higher seed. Remember, the Miami Heat were the number 2 seed, I believe. I believe the Dallas Mavericks were a number 3 seed that year, if I remember correctly. Remember, 2-1 lead. And remember, that was the instance, right, the scenario, the scene, where LeBron James and Dwayne Wade are coming into the arena through the tunnel, right? And LeBron James and Dwayne Wade are making fun of Dirk Nowitzki for maybe being sick that game. Remember, they were mocking him, coughing, fake coughing. And remember, after the game, Dirk Nowitzki said he heard about it, and he didn't appreciate it, and he went out there and destroyed them. That's what they got. Right? 2-1 lead. You lost 3 games in a row again in the postseason. But we're celebrating LeBron James for not going down 0-2 at home court advantage. But they won't bring up all this stuff. This is terrible, guys. This is mediocrity. This is what they do for LeBron James. It's straight nonsense. So now, let's think about this versus Michael Jordan, guys. How many times has Michael Jordan lost with a home court? Oh, I just told you, he never did. So that's a quick thing to do. We don't have to go through any scenarios where Michael Jordan's team was the favorite or had home court or they were the higher seed and they lost. Never happened for Michael Jordan. So what we always talk about is Michael Jordan just needed a little bit of help. Once his team was a little bit good, right? He was pretty much unstoppable. Unstoppable, guys. That's what that relates to. Once his team was a little good, right? They were able to get some wins. Finished maybe 3rd, 2nd, number 1 seed. There was no turning back from Michael Jordan teams. That was it. You weren't going to stop them. Home court advantage, you're done. Think about that. If Michael Jordan has home court advantage, you're done. You're not winning the series. No other superstar can make that claim. Now, let's think about this. How many blown leads did LeBron James have, right? How many blown leads did he have in his playoff career? So in 2006, remember, in 2006, the Cleveland Cavaliers were up 3-2, guys, over the Detroit Pistons in the second round. Remember, the Detroit Pistons would play the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. Dwayne Wade would lead his team over them and win the NBA Finals that year over the Dallas Mavericks. So it's funny to me because it's almost as if LeBron James did not want to face Dwayne Wade in the Eastern Conference Finals that year. Because once again, that would have been another, pothole in his career, another landmine, right? Because now you're beaten in the postseason by a guy from your draft class, right? So it's funny how they were up 3-2 over the Detroit Pistons, and then they lost the final 2 games. And they lost 4-3. And like I said, the Pistons would lose to the Miami Heat, I believe, in 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. So it's funny, LeBron James may have sabotaged his own team in that instance because he didn't want to face Dwayne Wade in the Eastern Conference Finals and lose in that scenario. Then in 2010, right, LeBron James was up. We mentioned this, right? They were up. He was up 2-1. And then they lost 4-2 against the Boston Celtics, guys, right? They lost 3 straight games. Then in 2011, we just mentioned you up 2-1. You lost 3 straight games. You lost 4-2 after you made a mockery. And then in 2015, let's not forget, guys, where they make excuses for LeBron James. Oh, Kyrie Irving was hurt. Kevin Love was hurt. Remember, the Cavs were up 2-1 with Kyrie Irving out, with Kevin Love out. You were still up 2-1. And then they lost 3 games in a row. And if you remember, at the end of game 4, the end of game 5, LeBron James had opportunities to win those games. He missed layups, he missed jump shots, and he did not stop Andre Iguodala on the defensive end. He did not play defense like that. So LeBron James had no impact on the defensive end like that to slow or stop Andre Iguodala. You allowed Andre Iguodala to double his output in the points per game? That's ridiculous, man. How is your team supposed to win? Once again, they'll blame guys like Matthew Dellavedova and Timofey Mozgov, the Tristan Thompsons, the Iman Shumpers, but these guys actually stepped up and played a role. They actually helped LeBron James. They did. Go look at Timofey Mozgov. Go look at Matthew Dellavedova. Why do you think Steph Curry didn't get an Finals MVP in that Finals? Part of the reason was because of Matthew Dellavedova and the effort that he gave. I'm not saying he shut down Steph Curry, but he forced Steph Curry into low percentages and into a lot of turnovers. Because he gave a lot of effort, man. They helped out. LeBron James did not raise his level of play in those moments. You blew a 2-1 lead. So 4 different scenarios, LeBron James teams had leads in the playoffs and they lost the game. 4 different scenarios. And if we think about 2011, he had a stacked super team, still lost. 2015, they tried to make excuses for him, right? 2010, more excuses. 2000 excuses. Now, let's think about Michael Jordan. How many times did Michael Jordan's teams blow a lead in the postseason? The only time that I could think of that I looked into was 1989. in the Eastern Conference Finals versus the Detroit Pistons. If you guys remember in that series, the Bulls went up 2-1 in that series. If you remember, Game 3, the series was tied 1 game apiece, right? The Bulls came out, beat Detroit in the first. Now remember, in 1989, first of all, let's remember, the 1989 Detroit Pistons are recognized as one of the greatest teams of all time, guys. One of the greatest teams of all time. I've often seen them on top 10 lists of top 10 greatest teams, the 89 Pistons. So, let's understand something also, that the Detroit Pistons only lost 2 games that entire postseason run, guys. Only 2 games that entire postseason. And those 2 losses came to the Chicago Bulls. They swept the LA Lakers in the finals that year, guys. Swept them. They swept every round except for the Chicago Bulls Eastern Conference Finals. So remember, the Bulls beat them the first game. It was a shocker. People were like, wow, the Bulls beat them the first game. Then the Pistons won the second game. Then the third game, right? Remember, Michael Jordan hit a game winner at the buzzer. Right, hit a game winner at the buzzer right over Dennis Rodman. On the right, was it the right side of the court, I believe, off the glass. You guys remember that runner over Dennis Rodman? That was a game winner. That was 2-1. Michael Jordan was playing out of his mind for the Bulls to go up 2-1. He was playing otherworldly. It wasn't like Michael Jordan was playing okay or he's playing really good and the Bulls had won those games because everyone else stepped up. Go look at his help during the 1989 Eastern Conference Finals, guys, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Michael Jordan had to play out of his mind, an insane level to go up 2-1. And then they would lose 3 games in a row, and they lost 4 games to 2 in that series. And like I said, the Pistons would go on and sweep the Lakers in the finals. So when we think about that, that's the only time the Bulls, with Michael Jordan, blew a lead where they lost the series. No other time were they up 3-2 or up 2-1 or any of this stuff, and they came back or they lost the games. That's the only series, guys, that I found. The only series, like I said, to the 89 Pistons, one of the greatest teams of all time, a team that only lost 2 games all postseason. You can't say the same thing about the Detroit Pistons in 06 when he blew that lead. They weren't undefeated in the postseason. They weren't the eventual champions. They weren't one of the greatest teams of all time. The 2010 Celtics, they're not one of the greatest teams of all time. You blew a 2-1 lead against those guys, 4-2. Are they one of the greatest teams of all time? No. The 2011, and plus the 2010 Boston Celtics, they didn't win the championship that year, right? They got beat by the Lakers in the championship. 2011, are the 2011 Dallas Mavericks one of the greatest teams of all time? I don't believe so. That's one of the greatest runs of all time, but I don't believe the 2011 Mavericks are one of the greatest teams of all time. But you still had your stacked super team, and you lost after being up 2-1. So it ain't the same thing as the 89 Pistons and the 89 Bulls. Ain't the same. And anything about 2015, once again, LeBron James was on his stacked super team. When his super team goes down, now things are even. You versus Steph Curry, you couldn't raise your level of play and carry your team across the finish line. You were up 2-1, you blew it. The 2015 Warriors are not an all-time great team. They're not one of the top 5, top 10 great teams of all time. They're not. And LeBron James lost to them. So as you can see, Michael Jordan lost to a team that was much greater than his Chicago Bulls in 89. Right? No one's ever talking about the 89 Bulls. I told you guys, the 89 run by the Bulls, to me, is one of the most impressive runs in NBA's history, guys. To beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round, who were one of the best teams in Eastern Conference that year, one of the best teams in the NBA, one of the best defensive teams, one of the best offensive teams. I believe they were a top 3 or top 5 defense that year, won 57 games. They beat that team. Then they beat the New York Knicks in the next round, who were a very good team. Once again, look at what Michael Jordan did in that series against the Knicks. He led the Bulls in every statistic, points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks, to lead the Chicago Bulls over that Knicks team. That's what they had to do to beat them. And then you face the Pistons in 89. Once again, a great run. So as you guys can see, Michael Jordan, once again, doing more with less and doing more in less time than LeBron James. They continue to celebrate LeBron James for mediocrity by celebrating him never going down 0-2 in the postseason. Meanwhile, Michael Jordan never lost on home court. LeBron James can't say that. Look how many blown leads he has. These are the facts, guys. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.